First, the pundits scoffed at the notion that Donald Trump would run for president.
He is obviously never going to be the Republican nominee for president, and he is obviously never going to be a candidate for president.
Not quite so obvious. Then the commentators scoffed at his chances in the 2016 race, but so far the billionaire has stunned some of the self-styled experts. I sat down with him at his Trump Tower office in New York. Donald Trump, welcome.
Thank you.
Now that you're in second place in the polls, Politico runs a story quoting Republicans, including Ari Fleischer, the former Bush White House spokesman, calls you roadside accident. He tarnishes everyone, irresponsible, divisive, hurtful. Does that hurt your feelings?
No, I mean, Ari is somebody that nobody respects and nobody has any respect for him. I'm surprised you even waste your time quoting him. I'm number two. I'm doing well. I'm going up. And people take me very seriously, and they call me and they want to meet with me and at the top level of the Republican Party. And frankly, I'm the one that's going to bring back health to the country. I'm going to make America great again. Politicians aren't going to do that. And everybody takes me very seriously.
You are constantly denouncing some journalists who write about you and talk about you. Let me run through it. ABC's Martha Raddatz, unprofessional and biased, you say. NBC's Chuck Todd, a real loser. National Review's Jonah Goldberg, dumb as a rock. Columnist George Will, a total dope. Fox's Charles Krauthammer, a totally overrated clown. I don't think you really believe that. I think that they criticize you, and your instinct, you're like a boxer, is to punch back.
Well, I do punch back. I believe in punching back. But, you know, those are people that I didn't think have treated me fairly. A while ago, they said, he's never going to run. He's never going to run. Then I ran. Then he said, oh, he'll never file his papers. And I filed my papers. Now they don't know what to say. And then all of a sudden, I get these really big poll numbers, and they're really good, although I think they're going to go higher, because I really think people agree with what I'm saying at the border and just agree with me, period. So
is there a payoff for you in picking fights with the not-so-popular media?
No, it's not a payoff. Look, I like people that treat me well. I don't have to be treated perfectly, and I just want to be treated fairly. They were unfair. They don't call me. They don't mention anything. Martha Raddatz was acting like, oh, this must be a mistake. It must be a mistake. You know, I built a massive company. I've had #1 bestsellers. I've had The Art of the Deal, which is just about the biggest business book of all time. I had tremendous success on television with The Apprentice. I went to the Wharton School of Finance, and I was a really good student, and it's one of the hardest schools in the world to get into. And then they treat it like, you know, like, why is he here?
Speaking of The Apprentice, NBC this week announcing it's severing its relationship with you over your comments on Mexican immigrants. First of all, when you hit back at NBC, why did you drag Brian Williams into it?
Well, I think that, you know, they protect Brian Williams, and he went around lying and telling things that weren't so, and I think probably he shouldn't be on, but, you know, that's up to him. I actually think he shouldn't have done it, to be honest. I think he should have gone someplace else, but it was just something that I thought was appropriate. You know, you could bring up other names, too.
Does it tarnish you a bit that this network that you partnered with so successfully over the years now says, you know, it's preserving its dignity by not wanting to do business with you anymore?
Well, they were very unhappy because we had a great season last season with The Apprentice. They had, I think, a 2.4 rating. It was reported we did very, very well. And they were very unhappy when I ran, because when you run, you're not allowed to, as you know, do a show.
Right, of course not.
So they were not happy with me, I will tell you that. And then when they saw the last week or two, the poll numbers so strong, you know, they figured, well, I'd run, I'd get out fast, and still do the show. When they saw my poll numbers, one of them actually called me and said, wow, you're not getting out anytime soon, are you? And, you know, they renewed The Apprentice. Right. This was renewed, and they thought I'd do it. And I can't do that. I want to make the country great again. I can't do that if I'm doing The Apprentice. So they were not thrilled with me.
On the Mexican comments, why not say, maybe I went too far, poor choice of words, or even, I'm sorry?
I don't have to say that. Look, the Mexican border is a sieve. People are pouring through our country, into our country. We don't know who they are, where they are. They come from all over the world, not Mexican. I employ thousands of Mexicans. I've employed over the years many thousands of Mexicans. Right. I love the Mexican people. They're fantastic, and everybody knows that. But in terms of the border, it's a disgrace. Either we have a border or we don't have a country. You know, you can't have a country without borders. And people are coming in, and some of those people, and I read it even yesterday, there was a huge article about the tremendous crime that's taking place. It's like a crime wave. It's one of the most dangerous places on earth. And I bring that up, all of a sudden I'm a bad person.
Bill Maher says you're a Frankenstein monster who never apologizes for every crazy thing you might say.
Well, he also said I'm here to stay, and which was actually interesting. So I brought up the fact that Mexico is killing us on trade, and I mean killing us.
But you use words like rapists.
Well, rapists are coming in. Excuse me, I'll show you an article done
I'm not
by
disputing
Fusion.
it. It's a question of
Of course
tone.
you're not disputing. So if you're not disputing it, why wouldn't I say
Because it's a
it?
question of your tone, and it offended a lot of people.
Excuse me, I read an article yesterday from Fusion, which is owned by Univision,
Right.
as I'm told, and it talked about many of the women that cross the border are being raped. Many of them, a tremendous percentage. They actually said 80%. That's hard to believe it could be 80%. But they said the women coming across the border are raped. This is done by Fusion. It was printed in the Huffington Post, no friend of mine.
Right.
And I use the word rape, and all of a sudden everyone goes crazy. It's at 80% of the women, which is hard to believe, to be honest with you. But there is tremendous. So
I think by and
I can never
large-
apologize, Howard.
Yeah.
I can never apologize for the truth. I don't mind apologizing for things, but I can't apologize for the truth. I said tremendous crime is coming across. Everybody knows that's true, and it's happening all the time.
I
so
think
when
over
I
the
mention
years-
crime, all of a sudden I'm a racist. I'm not a racist. I don't have a racist bone in my body.
I think over the years, the press has been pretty good to you as you've built this reputation as a worldwide deal maker and builder and TV star. I wonder, though, if you're used to the extra kind of intense scrutiny that comes with being a presidential candidate.
I think I am. I
Yeah.
mean, I've been out here for a long time doing this.
What about when people start writing stories about your business background and say, and I know you say you've used the law to reduce your corporate debt, say, well, Trump's casino unit declared bankruptcy several times.
So let me just tell you about that. I made a fortune in Atlantic City. I did fantastically. I left about 7 years ago. And I used the laws just like Leon Black, just like Carl Icahn, just like Henry Kravis, just like Warren Buffett, just like everyone else. But when I use the laws, you're talking about the bankruptcy laws, I use them to my advantage. I'll buy a deal, throw it into bankruptcy immediately, negotiate a great deal, with the banks and everything else. And now when other people do it, they don't mention it. When I do it, they say, oh, he used the bankruptcy laws. So I used the laws. I did a great job. I did a great job. I made a fortune in Atlantic City, but I left, and actually the financial media gave me great credit for timing because I left Atlantic City 7 years ago.